So we are here today with Mitchell Zucker. He's a writer, illustrator, and bookbinder. And we are talking about the subject of what does peace mean? And so what does it mean to you, Mitchell?
Okay. What does peace mean to me? Peace. It means peace of mind, first of all, and that's the top of the list, peace of mind. And how to achieve peace of mind is the task. I've investigated it for many years of my life. I'm 84 now. I started questioning it seriously at about the age of maybe 45, 50, when I was not satisfied with my life and the way it was going and the way I perceived the world going. Particularly what happened in the country of Vietnam made me look at peace as an activity in my life that would have more meaning than anything. Regarding peace, the last work I did was working with poverty, poor people. And I did that for about 6 years altogether, some of which were spent away from the center of poverty, and the others were spent right in the midst of poverty. In the midst of poverty was with a group of people who had a similar feeling that I did about activism. And we began a program in Yonkers, New York, the southwest corner of the city of Yonkers. Is not more than 1 or 2 square miles, but it contains something like 90% of the social housing for poor people.
Wow.
In the entire city. Yeah, we were interested in working with the slum of Yonkers. There were about 2,000 children who had no homes there.
Oh, gosh.
This was in 1980, as late as that. There was a recession going on. The people I worked with were a Zen community of New York City, associated with a Japanese teacher, Taizan Maizumi Roshi, and we lived right down there in an African-American ghetto. This is called Westchester County, the 5th richest county in America. And this was one of the poorest per capita neighborhoods in the country.
Wow.
The thought we had was to change the entire neighborhood, one project at a time.
Yeah.
And the first one was to build affordable housing for a particular group of people who we would select from the entire collection of homeless people and offer them jobs, housing, childcare, infant care, and programs. This was the dream. It was to transform lives.
Yeah.
Whereas
powerful.
It was kind of unheard of in big cities to have a program like that. And I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated by the possibility of understanding poverty in a way that I had ideas about from my life, but never intimately like this. So we wrote grants, and New York State gave us a grant to rebuild an apartment building down there. And when you looked at the services that were available then, they were pitifully small. In fact, in Westchester, they were disgustingly small. I joined a fellow by the name of Bernie Glassman, Eve Marco, and several others who felt the same way I did about this, and began a bakery to employ people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, oh, wow, is right, because none of us were bakers. But we knew what we wanted to do, and it was a need. It was a need for it.
Yeah.
There were many people, well-known people in the world, who were active and supported us.
That's amazing.
People like Peter Matheson, the author, Allen Ginsberg, the poet, Susan Sarandon was on the board. Musicians, and there were good connections in New York. We had the connections, indeed.
Oh, fabulous.
And we had a bakery started in a building. It was a total disaster of a building. I found myself doing a lot of engineering work getting this place together.
Right, because you're an engineer by trade.
By training.
Yeah.
And so I was kept very busy.
Yeah.
But my true love was working with children. I just enjoyed working with children, and the idea of working with homeless children really turned me on.
Wow.
So how to find the children, how to find the tenants, how to redo the building, how to run the bakery, how to do all of this stuff and survive became an issue. So I found myself also as a grant writer, along with particularly Eve Marco was a good writer, an excellent writer. And so we wrote lots of grants.
Wow.
I helped write a $1 million grant to redo the building, and that really turned me on that it could even happen. And when there's a need and there aren't many volunteers, there's a good opportunity to write grants.
Yeah.
And this program, it's still going on to this day. It's been 25 years now, 30, maybe 30 years now. This being a very poor area, there was a Catholic monastery there, a nunnery, I believe it was. And I worked with some nuns and really enjoyed their power.
Yeah.
Oh, remarkable women. Yeah. And that became an AIDS location for helping people with the disease, and it's still going on to this day, to my knowledge.
Yeah.
Yeah, a friend of mine got me the job working for a millionaire to create one event to raise money for the New York school system. And the New York school system had just closed down all of their music programs. I was hired to help make a concert possible for strings to be held at Carnegie Hall. And I was going from working in Yonkers in a rundown setup to working with Isaac Stern, who was the president of Carnegie Hall, Itzhak Perlman, Midori, John O'Connor, what's his name? Very famous people were writing up blurbs about them for publications, and having all the money in the world to do it, and the whole place was filled. It was the second largest fundraiser in their history.
So can I just ask, the fundraiser, did it manage to save the music compartment then?
The music program
Yeah.
in the New York school system, that's like several thousand school, or hundreds and hundreds of schools and thousands of people.
Wow. So it worked.
And it worked.
So there is real power in people coming together and fundraising. Like, this is a real form of activism that works.
Yeah.
It can give life to things and save things. And
Yeah. I really learned about fundraising. In fact, the latest book I've written is about fundraising.
Yeah.
But as a comedy, and anyhow.